Thank you for joining us on Merit Matters, a virtual series highlighting current events, industry experts, and local community engagement. I'm your host, Tammy Birklid, Principal of Merit Construction. This month, we're doing a special mini-series to highlight gratitude. I've asked a few team members to join me in my journey, exploring gratitude in the workplace, at home, and as a whole. Today, I have our Material Procurement Manager, Miles Langer. Miles has been with us for a couple of years. He's an absolute joy to work with. He reaches out to people on a regular basis to lift them up, and I can't tell you how grateful we are to have him. Enjoy the podcast. Miles, I am so excited to have you on here and talk to you. I think that you are born for this.
Well, I appreciate that, and good afternoon, and I'm happy to be a part of this awesome program that you got going on with these podcasts. It's pretty exciting.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, and I think that this is one of the areas that you shine. You are absolutely positive all the time. You speak up when you're grateful for something, which I think is such an awesome example for other people. Sometimes when we're in a world where our perspective is skewed by our circumstances, we forget that, man, in a lot of ways we have it good. And I think that you always make sure to throw out there, hey, we do have it good. And I really appreciate that about you.
Well, yeah, that's what's been pretty amazing since being here at Merit is, from the first day I walked in, the vibe and the culture was just totally different than what I experienced at other companies. And over a little bit of time of wanting to figure out what's different about this company versus the other companies that I worked for is the principles and the morals that Merit stands on. And you truly embody living by your actions and not just with your words. And so for me, being a part of that and how you would reinvest in all of us as employees just made me feel grateful. And it always makes me feel grateful to show up every single day. And it gives me a readiness and an eagerness to give back and to support in any way I can.
I love that about you, and that's very real and true and genuine, which is just a really great quality that you have. So we kind of talked ahead of time, and we talked about some things that we would like to talk about as far as gratitude goes. And you have a couple questions here that we've agreed on that we think are going to be good, and I'm super excited to hear your response. So tell me first, how do you cultivate a culture of gratitude? And I've already mentioned that I think you do this amazing, but share some examples of how you actually live that out on a regular basis.
So when I hear the word gratitude or grateful, instantly the most important thing to me in my life is my family and my friends. And so 9 times out of 10, if I say I'm grateful for something, it's always going to be my family, my friends. And so working at different places, there's a lot of other companies that try to embrace the idea of let's be family and friends, that ideology and whatnot, but it doesn't ever really ever seem to pan out um, for whatever reasons. But for me and my learning lessons over the years is what can embrace that, getting to know people one on one, taking time to understand, who they are as a person, getting to know what they like, what they don't like, what keeps them ticking. That stuff truly intrigues me to get to know people like that. And so I have an awesome job where I get to be around people one on one individually. And so I get to know them. And as I get to know them, we're building friendships um, that are going to last a lifetime, I hope. When I get to go out and I get to work with different individuals, we get that one-on-one time to get to know one each other. Some days we're all going to have good days, we're going to have bad days. And when the days that are bad, I try to come in and I try to lift the person up spiritually, emotionally, however we can do that. And on the good days, let's embrace that moment, have a good time together, understanding that it's a job, but also making it a place where we get to fellowship and be friends, family, and communion together. And the only way you can really achieve that is by really getting to know the person that's next to you. And I feel like that's where other companies kind of lack at. And where the strength of this company is strong at is that we do take time to get to know each other's thoughts and hear each other's voices. And that's so awesome and amazing. And so when I go out there, I just try to just do that, is just make friends, be like family, be there for when people are down, be there for when people are up, and to always be that person that is always ready to willing to help. And when all that happens, those people feel grateful to have me in their life, and I'm grateful to have them in their life, and that just spreads and flourishes throughout the job site. And then when you're on the job site and you got good people there in good moods, you get to produce a good product, and the customer is going to be happy. That's what makes it amazing.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. One of the things that you said first and foremost was that you try to be sure that you know the person. And I think that we all want that so much. We want to be known, and not just known, but actually liked for who we are,
Yeah,
the
exactly.
the true us.
Yep.
And you bring to the table laughter all the time. And I think laughter is a great outward sign of gratitude. A smile that you give is like, it's like being generous. It's
Yep.
like, you maybe the person on the other side isn't feeling it, like you're saying, they're having that crappy day, but you always come to the table ready and willing to give of yourself. And more often than not, every time I'm ever around you, I hear laughter. And it might be yours, but that's okay, because when I hear your laughter, it makes me laugh, or smile or whatever. And that's what it's all about. We spend so much time at our jobs, and it needs to be a place where it's not just draining and it's not just drudgery. It needs to be, like you said, we get it. It's work. It's still a four-letter word. It's still,
Yeah.
not the greatest thing ever, but we have to do what we can for each other to make it like as good as it can be.
Right,
And
because if we can embody that sense of friends and family, like this Thanksgiving coming up, you get excited when you dress up and you go see your family, you get to go spend time with them and everything like that. And I've always wondered, like, work is work, but why can't we embrace that same kind of nature? When I'm going to work in the morning, it's not, "Oh, I'm just going to work." It's man, I get to go see my friend Brett, or I get to go see my friend Jason, or I get to go see my friend Tammy. You know what I mean? I'm excited
yeah,
about going to seeing how they're doing, you know what I mean? So,
yeah. And um, I think that's good. I think that, gosh, not having that kind of lump, or that, negative fog, or whatever different people have when they think about their job. I am so proud of that, that people generally like what they're doing, and they love the people that they're working with, and they feel like they're at a good place. We've talked about that lots of times, but you want to work for some place you're proud of, that that they're doing things well, and that that the people there have character, and are good people. So I totally
absolutely.
agree with you. So another question, what has recently made you laugh or smile that you're thankful for?
All right. Hopefully I can get through this without busting a tear or anything like that. I don't want to show my emotions on here. It just happened not too long ago. So with you hearing my laughter and me investing in people and trying to keep the morale up and whatnot like that, sometimes it starts to weigh when you give out that energy. Sometimes your cup gets a little bit empty, and so I have my rough days just like anybody else. And so I was having a little bit of a rough day, and so we're uh, we're lucky enough to live right next to our high school. So I grabbed the dogs and was like, I'm gonna go get some fresh air, go take the dogs for a walk. And so I was up there walking them and just kind of weighing out my thoughts, taking big deep breaths or whatnot. And I look over, my two boys were up there with a couple of their friends, and there's a big hill there, and they were all taking turns rolling down the hill. And I'm in this big field, and I look over and I see them and I see my dogs, and just in that moment, whatever was bothering me that day just went away. Just how grateful I am to have two beautiful boys that are able to play, that are healthy. I got my two dogs that are super awesome little puppies. My wife's at home making dinner for us. We get so caught up in social media, we get so caught up in the news, we get so caught up in pandemics, we get so caught up in all these things that at the end of the day, having those moments and living in that moment of your gratefulness, it all brings you back down and brings you back down to earth. And even in that moment, just looking at them, I look around more and I see the trees and the moon, and everything just kind of looks a little bit different in that moment, right? It's like when you're going on a camping trip, get away from everything, just everything is the sensory is so much better and you're just grateful to be a part of this world, and it's amazing, and that's what really matters. And so watching them little boys though, they always make me smile, and they always just bring the joy and sometimes the hardships in my
Yeah.
life, but but there's nothing more important to me, and that's the thing I'm grateful for.
I absolutely know that about you. And I have told you many times that I'm impressed with the father that you are. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. And I know that you know that I know you in that way. And I really appreciate that about you. I could totally picture you walking along and kind of, it's like the world is black and white until you saw your boys, and then everything switched to color. And
Exactly.
that's the way that you just explained it to me. And I know that's what they are for you. Your wife and your kids, they color your world. And I love that. I think that's amazing. Um, so you have a question for me as well. Is that right?
I do have a question for you.
Okay.
My question for you is, do you think gratitude should be shown by the leaders or employees?
Well, I think that gratitude should be shown by both. I think that you're a perfect example of what happens when an employee demonstrates gratefulness. Um, People can be kind of in their own little world, just like you were talking about earlier, and it's all about perspective, right? So you were focused on something else, and then you saw your boys and it changed your perspective. You recognized that is really petty, and I don't care about that because I have these boys. You're really great about bringing something up where even if we could be having a difficult time, you're always good to say, you know what, I've never worked for a company that does X, Y, and Z, and I'm really excited that we get to do this, which then triggers other people to think about it and say or feel something similar to that, which is a huge win for me. I appreciate the support. It means everything to me. I've always, considered it an honor to be an employer, but to have employees like you that speak up and are grateful and um, make sure that other people know too. It's like you're not just necessarily going to say that to me, you say that to other people. And I think some of the things that are the most important is what people say about you when you're not around.
Yeah.
Because if you're truly walking the walk and you are someone that is doing the right things, then they should be saying great things about you when you're not around. Um, so I think it's really important for that employees step up and demonstrate gratitude, or even just try like you do to give someone a different perspective at any given time that might elevate their day. But I think most important is that a leader, and we all are leaders at different times, right? You and I have been through leadership classes together, sat side by side before we knew each other through work, and became friends. And so you're a leader in your family, you're a leader at your job, you're a leader. All kinds of things come up on any given day that you might have to step up and into a leadership position. And I think that when you're a leader, you need to demonstrate to people that you're grateful. You're grateful for them, that you value them, that you see them, that you know them, all of the same types of things that you said, but rather, like to me, it's important that people know I can't do this without you. It's important for me that people understand, hey, you did this thing and it changed things for other people. It made a difference. It's I'm super grateful. You can pay people a certain amount of money and maybe that keeps them for a little while. You can give them, extra vacation or whatever, and maybe that keeps them for a little while. But how you treat someone and how you share gratitude with them for them, that's going to be what keeps a person, that's why we have people that have worked for us for 20 plus years.
Right.
And that's why we have not lost a single person during COVID. Other companies, they can't find people to work for them. But we haven't lost a single person. We have been incredibly blessed and not had anyone quit to find something, better or different. And I think that's not just leadership, although I think it does have a component. I think it's leadership demonstrating how it needs to be from the top down and having every person step up and into their role. And everybody does. I
Yeah,
mean,
absolutely.
it's all at different times, it's just like in a marriage or in any other relationship. Sometimes you're the strong one and sometimes you're the weak one. The important thing is that you have good people on your team so that when you can't be strong, they can. And we,
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Yeah, I like that. That's really good. Yeah, that's me and my wife were just talking about that yesterday was there's moments where she's down and I'm up and there's moments where I'm down and she's up and I was like, man, if we could both just be on the same page, conquer the
yeah, you could conquer the world. You guys would have capes and you'd be superheroes. So I'd probably lose you. So I'll just keep it how it is.
No, it'd take a lot for you to lose me. I'm pretty happy and I've been truly grateful to work for this company. It's been absolutely amazing. It's been amazing to watch actions speaking louder than words. It's been amazing to be part of a company that is actually part of the community. Um, a company that, like I said, just reinvests back into their employees all the time in any way that they can. And when you feel that, you feel I want to reinvest back into my company. I want to give my 110% right back. And when you have both of those people giving 110%, it's awesome things happen, which it did. This year's been a tough year for a lot of businesses, and for Merit, it's been a pretty awesome year with a big step of a job that we picked up, and that's really awesome. And that shows the dedication from everybody.
Yeah, I loved hearing your perspective and I appreciate you so much. And I just want to thank you for taking the time to come on and talk with me and share a little bit about who you are and what gratitude means to you.
I appreciate it. Thank you for having me on the show.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, you have a great day, Tammy.
You too.